Hello guys, in this video I want to talk about tests in Django. So I will discuss different types of testing that we usually as a developer or backend developer use in our services. Then I will talk about our shop app that we created in the past videos and how we can create tests for that app. And then I will dive into the code and write the tests. So as a backend developer, we usually deal with two types of testings. Actually, we have other types except these two, but we usually write unit test and integration test. So unit test is a minimum testing that we usually do. For example, for CRUD operations like create, update, or delete, we can use a unit test. And integration test is a more higher level testing. And for example, we can test two different modules. For example, in a crawler app, you assume a crawler app that has two modules. One module crawl and fetch the data, and one module process the data. So integration test is about if these two modules works together or not correctly. In the before, we created a simple shop app that has just one model named product, and this product model has three fields: name, price, and image. And then we provided CRUD operations on that model. And in this video, I want to create 4 tests. So in this video, I want to create 4 tests to make sure that our 4 functionality works correctly. Now let's dive into the code. Okay, so this is our project that we created in the past tutorials. And now I want to change our Docker Compose a little bit. So I want to build containers instead of getting images over the internet. So in this way, we can set up our project quickly. Then I will go ahead into our product app and then in the test.py file. So here we can create our test, and I will create 4 tests for 4 operations that we created in the past tutorials. These operations are create, update, list or read operation, and delete operation. First, I will import base package because we need it for creating image. If you remember, in the product app we had image field, and the image field was required. So in the test we need to create an image to create a product object. Then I will import a client package. We will use client for make requests to our APIs, get or post or patch or delete request. Then I will import a simple uploaded file package to create in-memory files. So we create image in the memory, not in the file system. Next, I will create product test case class and I will put our functions in that class. Next, I will define setup function. Setup function is a specific function in the test cases. Setup function will be called in each test function, and I will initiate a client object in that function. And I want to create product object in the setup function. So I will send post request to create a product object in the setup function. To create an image file, we need a binary of an image. I have prepared a simple binary and I will use it in here. Then by using simple uploaded file class, I will create a in-memory file. Then I will create a post request object with the route to the product path and the required data in the body. I will store the response in the specific object, here creation resp, because in some cases we need the ID of the created object. Now I want to create our first test function. I will name it test product creation. So I want to test if our service can create a new product. As I mentioned before, in each test function, setup function will be called in the background. So when we run test product creation function, firstly setup function will be called. So here we assert if the response status code is equal to 201. So if the status code was 201, we can assure that our creation API worked. Now I want to create our second test function. I will name it test product list. So I want to check that our list endpoint work or not. So I make a get request to product route and assert that if response has one object. Next, I want to test a update method. So I create a function named test product update, and I will get a creation response from our setup and convert it to the JSON object, and I will get a object ID and try to make an update on that object. For example, here I will update name of the object. So then I will check if the response status code is 2.00 or not. If the response status code was 200, I can assure that our update method works. Then I'm going to test our delete method. So I create a function named test product delete. And here, similar to update, I will get the object ID. So by having the object ID, I can make a request to delete that object. So if the response status code was 204, I will assure that our delete endpoint or delete functionality also works. Okay, now I want to run our test suite. So first I will up our services with docker compose up command. Then I should go to the shop API container. So docker exec -it shop API bash, and then I will go to the shop directory where manage.py file is placed, and then by command test I will run our test functions, and you can see that we have run 4 tests here, and all of them was successful and we didn't have any error.